Lise? Lise? Have you seen my scooter?
No.
Welcome to Scrapheap Challenge, the show that demands two teams mix brains with brawn to fabricate the outrageous from just this. Scrap!
And this week's mechanical migraine promises to be a Scrapheap classic.
Our teams must throw a 100-kilo object as far as they can without using compressed gas or gunpowder.
And the weighty payload in question is a Scrapheap staple, the humble scooter.
Man has been attempting to fling heavy objects since time began. Ancient Greek siege engines were used to circumvent city walls, and diseased corpses were a medieval form of bio-warfare. But as far as we know, there's no historical record of scooters being slung. So who'll be taking on this unique challenge?
Popping in this week is a tinkering trio of hot air balloonists from the Wirral. Launching a scooter should be a walk in the park for these high-flying Liverpudlians. Blowing all the hot air and keeping a watchful eye is Captain Seymour, while sweating it out on the heat will be Kenty. And his fellow scavenger, Fingers. Calm down! It's the Balloonatics.
Aiming to puncture those balloonists' hopes are a team of aquarium constructors from Dorset who enjoy getting tanked up for a living. Fish tanks, that is. At the helm is plumbing expert Charlotte, aka Lottie, while sifting through the sea of scrap falls to Wally and Nutty. Look, shark! It's the aquarium crew!
Welcome, teams. I hope you're ready to throw caution and a great deal more to the wind, as we are challenging you to build monster machines capable of throwing 100-kilogram four-stroke kings like this.
Oh, yes. But before you explode into action, be warned. You can't use compressed gas or gunpowder. If that wasn't enough, you have just 10 hours to construct these all-powerful scooter shooters. So, all hands to the throttle on the sound of the gong.
OK, teams, wait for the gong, wait for the gong.
Go! See what then, boys. That's not bad. Not a bad task.
Shooting scooters
without explosives.
without compressed air.
So we've got to fling it.
A long track
Catapult.
with a cable.
The front here can be raised.
If it were for Julius Caesar's, why can't it work for us?
We have a pivot here,
Yeah.
and then we get a car and we drive it really fast into that, bang, and that goes.
That would go miles, wouldn't it?
You've got to be able to do it 3 times, though.
3 cars.
Yes. Well, to ensure our teams don't get too carried away, we've enlisted the help of 2 experts. Keeping the Balloonatics on the right flight path is a Scrapheap veteran. He's appeared 3 times on Scrapheap Challenge, and each time involving the mystical art of weaponry. As a munitions specialist, he loves anything packing a magnificent amount of muscle. He's Todd Toddashini.
Hi guys, I'm Todd.
Todd.
So you know what it is?
Yeah, excited.
And?
Excited. At the moment, we're sort of leaning towards a simple A-frame, just work out the weights, the measurements and what have you.
Sort of trebuchet type thing.
Trebuchet, that's the word.
Right. On the history of Scrapheap Challenge, not one has ever worked. What does work, and has worked well, are crossbows.
Ooh.
Now, if you imagine a normal crossbow, you've got a bow up here, and you've got the stock down here. For that, you need a whopping big spring. Now, you're not going to find springs that big, so we can do something a bit like that. A string between the 2 tips of the arms.
Made of what material? What are you thinking?
Got a bit of steel cable or something like that. If we then attach some springs...
What, we're talking suspension springs? Off four-wheel
Suspension
drive?
springs, bigger than that. I think we want lorry ones.
Expert Todd is proposing an unconventional crossbow. They aim to build a strong frame, attach 2 powerful rams capable of compressing 2 huge lorry leaf springs, which will tighten a steel cable. It'll certainly have the muscle, but will the machine be beefy enough to take all those stresses and strains?
I would love to test shoot this at the end of the day.
Yeah, we'll go with that.
Joining the aquarium crew is another Scrapheap old hand. He appeared on the first ever series, and 10 years on, he hasn't changed a bit. A pyrotechnic coordinator who'll ignite any idea requiring a colossal force. He's Don Mansfield.
Hi.
Hi.
I'm your expert for the day. What are you looking at doing?
Well, we've got a chain flinger.
Or some volunteer driving a car off a cliff, it looks like. Does it?
Yeah, that was you in there.
Oh, I thought it might be, yeah, on the third attempt. Yeah. From my point of view, a trebuchet-based concept is the thing we're looking at.
Right, okay.
The problem we have is that what we're lobbing, scooter, is actually quite heavy. So if we're going to do something like that, we'd be really up against it, getting the weight heavy enough.
I could sit in it.
What I'm going to suggest is that we do a modern angle on an old idea.
Okay.
Rather than trying to sling it over the top, we're actually going to just use the weight to not throw it, but launch it.
Turning 2,000 years of history on its head, the aquarium crew aim to construct an underarm trebuchet. They plan to build 2 tall A-frames, find a large steel container to fill with heavy ballast, and attach an arm. But get their calculations wrong. And which way will it go? Nobody knows.
Using the trebuchet idea, we're just bringing it up to date.
Underarm fling.
An underarm trebuchet.
It's a girly throw.
Before our scavengers can go anywhere, they'll need a shopping list of scrap.
First on my critical list, I want stuff for the arms.
Cross pieces.
A couple of leaf springs, yeah?
We need something with bearings. Things like a car axle.
So you need to get out there and get hunting.
Go get it now.
Off you go.
So with our challenge underway, both sets of scavengers will be desperate to get their hands on some prize scrap.
Who'll be shooting from the hip and who'll be shooting in the dark? We'll find out
After the break.
Welcome back to Scrapheap Challenge, where our 2 teams have been given the task of throwing 100-kilogram scooters.
As our teams are banned from using compressed gas or any kind of gunpowder, each team has had to dip into their history books.
The aquarium crew, along with expert Don Mansfield, has opted for an ancient Greek approach. They want to build an underarm trebuchet using a whopping great counterweight.
While the Balloonatics and their expert Todd are adapting a medieval idea. They aim to build a huge crossbow using leaf springs compressed by 2 powerful rams.
With less than 10 hours to build monster mechanical scooter shooters, each team is on the heap in search of vital scrap.
See them A-frames on there? The what? See them A-frames of the arms.
Right, let's get around there then.
And it's those hot air balloonists from the Wirral who lay claim to the first find.
Just stand it up so it doesn't go past.
What are you doing with it now?
Kenty and Fingers are hoping to save a lot of fabrication time by using these old, heavy scaffold supports as the arms to their huge crossbow.
I'm out of breath. It's a run that dummy in.
Yeah, you there, Stu?
Yeah, go ahead, Pete.
Yeah, Stu, we found some what look like 15, maybe 16-foot A-frames. They're made up of 2-inch, maybe 3-inch diameter bar.
Too heavy.
Yeah, experts confirming it. It's going to be too heavy for us.
It's a letdown for these scouse scavengers. But it'll take a lot more than that to deflate these boys.
Would you like to ride? The Balloonatics are a team of hot air balloonists from the Wirral. Certainly no basket cases, especially with Captain Stewart, a.k.a. Seymour, at the helm.
You can understand why he's known as Seymour, as he's 6'7" tall, officially a giant.
Good captain, Rally. He likes to lead, and we listen most of the time.
Waffles on rather a lot.
The man keeping the team's feet rooted to the ground is Kenty.
Kenty, the little gnome. Bit heavy to fly, really.
He's an all-round diamond, he really is. A lot of people call him a rough diamond, to be fair.
Kenty's partner in crime is Fingers. But don't be alarmed, he's not a crook.
He's a classical pianist, but he's one of these guys where you give him a bag full of widgets and say, make me a rally car, he'd make it.
Don't ask him any questions about railways unless you've got about an hour or so to spare.
And Captain Seymour has confidence in his 2 scavengers.
They know what they've got to do, and they know the time constraints we're against, but I'll be watching the clock, don't you fret.
We're the Balloonatics.
And we're going to blow the opposition
Sky high.
In one.
Oh, Balloonatics! Now, the idea with Scrapheap Challenge is you collect scrap and take it to the build area?
We've had a quick word and they don't want what we've got for them.
Really? What's the matter?
Too heavy.
Too heavy.
Do you want to hold it?
Yeah.
I'd rather not. Go on, talk me through your design.
Loosely speaking, it's a crossbow.
Right, so you're going to need really robust stuff, aren't you? Because when you put it under pressure.
There's one hell of a pressure.
Well, apparently what we want to do is when we built it, we're frightened of it, it might work. If we're not frightened of it, it's not going to do the job.
We do like a bit of stress in the scrap and in the contestants. Brilliant. And why do you think this is going to be too heavy?
Well, this is possibly be a part of the arms.
Oh, right.
But if you're going to be moving a lot of weight...
We don't want to be using all our energy up on moving
just to move the machinery.
Structure. We want to use it to chuck the scooter.
We can build it much lighter. I mean, that's a pretty thick wall. I know, I've just lifted it.
So it's back to square one for the Balloonatics.
We're going to go back and get the other stuff, because they've got what to do at the moment. Ow!
Meanwhile, on the other side of the heap...
That's a weight.
That is, isn't it?
We could roll that back to say...
What do you reckon to
Get
this?
your laughing gear around that.
The aquarium crew have spotted a heavy steel tube, an ideal counterweight, if of course they can get it out.
That is hell of a weight, mate.
We'll give it to them for an option, can't we?
Sure. Yeah. Can always bring it back.
So as they reel in their first catch of the day, let's see what these guys get up to when they're not fishing around on the heap.
Hang on, we're coming through.
The aquarium crew are a team of fish tank builders from Weymouth who are used to working under pressure. Heading up the team is Captain Charlotte.
Charlotte's good fun at a party.
Charlotte's a plumber by trade. She's hands-on girl.
But why choose such a profession?
Something I could do with my hands, on my own. That came out wrong.
John, aka Nutty, should make an ideal scavenger.
John has got unfeasibly large hands.
Very knowledgeable as well. Always makes you feel a bit thick. Well, me anyway.
But Paul, aka Wally, does have his uses.
Paul's a funny man. He'll be the one that keeps us going with stories and jokes.
So what do they think of their chances on the heap?
We'll win, absolutely, yeah. I'm sure we will.
Hope to be finalists.
What, the whole thing? No. Don't stand a chance.
And maybe Captain Charlotte has a point.
We're teaming with talent. We're skilled to the gills.
Right.
We're teaming with talent. We're skilled to the gills. Teaming with talent.
We're the aquarium crew.
Oh, Charlotte.
I reckon if you could get enough steel
You could
in there...
fill that.
Cement
Okay.
mixer would be handy. We'll just fill it full of cement.
Even though that steel tube is safely back at base, Captain and Expert have nothing to do.
Hello, Charlotte.
Hello, my lover.
Right, lover. We found a big...
A big, like, trailer.
Do you think it's worth bringing in?
Yeah, we reckon, yeah. It's got an axle on it as well.
Brilliant. Bring it in then.
Do you want to have a quick feel of this down here, Paul? Because we mean you might be able to pull it up and over.
Scavengers Wally and Nutty think the axle to this old agricultural trailer could be sturdy enough to support their heavy counterweight.
We'll lift that up over there.
So as the aquarium crew move into second gear, all is quiet in the Balloonatics build bay.
Zero scrap and nothing to do is taking its toll on Expert Todd.
What the hell were we talking about?
Talking about a new idea for the beam, or the arm. We were going to lay out on the floor. We were going to mark out, and he said, "No, I've got another brighter idea."
And it's not just Todd who's drawing a blank.
Trying to find something for the pins.
I can't see wood for the trees at the moment.
With time ticking away, Kentian fingers really need to get a move on, or the Balloonatics build will never get off the ground.
Right, so we've got some steel. We need more steel, John, don't we?
Yeah,
We need some
a lot more
plate.
steel.
I think we need to have a look down here, mate.
By contrast, the aquarium crew are having no problems locating vital scrap.
Got a good bit of angle round there.
Yeah.
Or was that C-set? What do you call that?
No, that's channel. That's fine,
Channel.
yeah.
So you can use that.
Do you know, I'm sure the aquarium crew are just going around the whole heap and earmarking pieces of scrap they want.
Oh, we could do some more of them. We'll have them.
They're rushing around the heap, sort of going, yeah, we'll like that and that and that. And there's nothing in the build there at all.
I feel useless.
Hello.
So, Captain and Expert.
Drinking tea?
Well, they're having tea. It's nice. They can have a little chat and, you know, get to know each other, which is good, and that's part of team morale.
It
But
is,
They probably do need some metal.
Right, John.
Blissfully unaware of Charlotte's growing impatience, Nutty and Wally think these familiar-looking scaffold supports could be perfect for their underarm trebuchet.
Good find. Spot on, mate.
Charlotte, we've got the A-frame part.
Okay, so where's that trailer?
The trailer's out in the yard. We just got a bit knackered pushing about, to be perfectly honest with you.
Okay, so basically you've got loads of stuff. It's all going to be coming back soon.
Yeah, we got that. We got loads. Dom's going to be over the moon. He's going to give you a big kiss.
Brilliant. Great. See you soon then. Having deja vu. I'm sure I said see you soon about an hour ago.
Your scavenging boys are not being super fast at the moment.
With none of the Balloonatics' key components and absolutely nothing back in the build area, their giant crossbow is still pie in the sky.
Well done, John.
Very nice. Lovely.
How much of that do you want? As much as possible, or...?
Much as possible, and then we can really get cracking.
Having only a trailer full of metal to play with, it falls to expert Todd to use his imagination.
Well, that is a potential pivot pin.
As so often happens on the heap, we see an old rusty pipe, but Todd's expert eye sees possibilities.
Looking good. I think that'll do it, you know.
It's a start, but until the scavengers find the leaf springs and rams central to their design, there's only a certain amount the captain and expert can do.
Wonder if it'd be easier if someone sat on the other end.
For me?
Yeah.
Having earmarked most of the scrap on the heap, the aquarium crew's two scavengers finally get the idea and take some of it back.
They give us a quad.
Yeah. Can we go through there, John?
Oh, can you go straight on,
Yeah.
Come on!
Yes! There's not one light bit about this, Joe.
When you said trailer, I was worried
Yeah.
that the hubs may not be man enough for the
That's what we
job,
were
but
thinking.
these are.
Do you reckon it's up for it?
Well,
We thought that. We haven't done ours for a
certainly
while.
these have got. I mean, this is like one of these heavy-duty industrial type tyres. So, yeah.
The aquarium crew plan to amputate the wheel hubs from this old agricultural trailer. They'll position them on top of two identical A-frames to form a pivot, which should ensure a smooth swinging motion.
Mind your back.
So the aquarium crew's build area sparks into life.
Right, you want the other one too?
Please.
While expert Don operates on the wheel hubs, Captain Charlotte begins stripping out the wheel rims, which they'll use as a template to attach their trebuchet arm. Meanwhile, it looks as though Scavenger's, Nutty and Wally's earlier earmarking is paying off.
Beautiful.
That's got to have quite a lot of travel on that one, hasn't it?
Yeah, it's also the powerful one because that's the one that compresses the stuff in.
It's been slow going all morning for the Balloonatics, but have they uncovered scrap heap pay dirt?
We'll have to salvage the pipework right up to that union there.
These rams, used to crush all our household waste, could provide the muscle to compress the leaf springs on their huge crossbow design. As the leaf springs become straight, so the cable gets tight. Once the rams reach their capacity, the machine is ready to fire.
And then we're going to have to try and find the pump, aren't we?
Getting the rams out isn't going to be easy. These old rubbish trucks were built to last.
With the scavenge well underway, it's time to meet the man who'll be keeping a watchful eye on our two teams.
This week's judge is the keeper of the most powerful medieval trebuchet in the world. What he hasn't launched, chucked or hurled really isn't worth knowing about. It's Warwick Castle's master of trebuchet and a man who'll guarantee to keep our teams stuck to the task in hand. It's Nick Glue.
Morning, Nick. Welcome aboard.
Morning.
Nice to see you. So, Nick, what are the absolute key ingredients then that both teams need to have to be able to throw a 100-kilogram scooter?
Generally, it's all about timing. It's when they time that release to get the perfect shot.
Well, the aquarium crew are building a trebuchet.
Yeah, it's a trebuchet, but it's basically upside down, which is an interesting idea on an old principle, but it should work.
Do you think it has the potential?
It's got the potential. Out of
Right.
both machines, I think the aquarium crew have got the edge.
Right.
Basically.
Oh, really? You think so? I mean, they've certainly got the edge at the moment in terms of components.
The boys saw a winch, and the winch looked good.
But that's also got the biggest potential for going drastically wrong.
Yes.
I think. With the underarm swing, it's got a very high chance of throwing it a good distance, but directly up in the air rather than forwards.
Yeah. But then what the Balloonatics are going for, I mean, the nearest way of explaining it is like a bow and arrow, but not quite, isn't
a
it?
giant crossbow, basically. Yeah. It's whether or not they can, it's going to have a massive amount of force behind it, it's whether or not they can transfer that force into throwing the bike instead of just twanging the string, basically.
Yes. And they haven't got a great deal of material to...
They don't seem to be working that quickly.
One.
So, but it sounds like at the moment your money would be on the aquarium crew, am I right?
I have to say, yeah, and owing to the fact that, I work with trebuchets, that's got to be my favourite.
Right.
Yeah.
Even though it's one that's never, ever been built before.
Yeah.
Ah, you star!
Whoa.
Let's see what's in there then.
Expert Todd may seem overly enthusiastic about this hydraulic pump, but he knows beggars can't be choosers.
OK. Right, Seymour, we're just about... I'm just going to check that the pump's in here. This one looks good, actually. It's free to move. Looks good, looks clean, so let's go with that.
It looks as though the hydraulic pump is a good one, but without those rams, it'll be as useful as a chocolate teapot.
Right. Shall we make something?
Absolutely, let's do it.
Right.
With no sign of the rams or the essential leaf springs, expert Todd is forced into taking a gamble and begins to weld together the arms for their giant crossbow.
The arms of the huge catapult will be tensioned by a pair of powerful leaf springs, compressed by 2 hydraulic rams. But with no idea of the size of the springs, the design of the arms is pure guesswork. Small springs can't shift heavy arms, but too large a spring could snap them.
And looking at them, I don't know how they're going to come off, to be honest, because you can't knock the pins out because all the metal's...
But all that could be academic. Kenty and Fingers are taking forever getting those rams out, and the leaf springs are a fantasy.
Give it a great big yank, Josh. Yeah, it's always good to give it a good yank, isn't it?
It is.
And if that wasn't bad enough, those hoarding heroes, the aquarium crew, are really getting stuck in.
You got it, you got it. You got it, go on, mate. There it is.
After a final delicate touch from Nutty, the last of their 4 scaffold supports is free.
Excellent.
So with everything they need back in their build area, all 4 team members can get cracking. And it's just as well.
Teams, this is your 6-hour time check. You have 6 hours of build time remaining, teams. Thank you.
I think we just get on with it, don't you?
Okay.
Having a build bay bulging with bits means those fish tank constructors from Weymouth are swimming away with the early lead.
But can the hot air balloonists from the Wirral pick up the pace and rise above their opponents? Find out after the break.
Welcome back to Scrapheap Challenge, where our 2 teams have decided to go back in time.
They're building medieval siege engines capable of throwing a very modern-day payload. The scooter.
But the question is, who will win the monumental Battle of the Builds?
Weymouth fish tank builders, the aquarium crew, along with their expert Don Mansfield, have the early lead, building an underarm trebuchet using a whopping 2-ton counterweight.
Can I try and fit it once?
After a successful scavenge, all of their components are safely back in the build area, and it's all hands to the pump. 1, 2, 3, go!
Meanwhile, Liverpudlian hot air balloonists, the Balloonatics, and their expert Todd are constructing a giant crossbow using 2 powerful rams to compress a pair of large leaf springs. For these boys, it's been hard work on the heap. They've finally liberated their giant rams, but are still missing a vital component.
Yeah, just give us an ETA on the actual springs themselves.
This old truck axle has some potential leaf springs, but until they get them out and back to the build area, it's anyone's guess as to whether they'll do the job. With no time to spare, expert Todd and Captain Seymour are ploughing on regardless.
Hang on, can we measure across the bottom?
The aquarium crew are making great progress building the first of their 2 huge A-frames.
Now, can you just again, because I'm going to send it that way.
need my glove.
And spirits are high.
We've got the feminine welder.
We have.
He is in touch with his feminine
He
side.
is.
It's not all fun and games, though. The team know both A-frames must be identical.
And that's definitely, you're right.
That's
not
fairly
right.
important, that bit, isn't it? Because it needs to be...
Yeah. Because if
not
you're
a
swinging
set.
at a true, it's going to start buckling things, isn't it?
What have we got? Some springs on it, and I found a cable as well.
They're looking very nice.
Okay.
After experiencing a turbulent morning, could it be clear skies ahead for the Ballunatics?
Oh, they're a bit scary when you look at them in real life, aren't they?
Very.
It looks as though the old truck leaf springs are just the job for their huge crossbow.
What, he did too big?
No, we need it all. They're just big.
I just don't want to send the boys back out there again.
No.
Finally, the Ballunatics build can get underway. But with nothing resembling a siege engine in any build area, we've asked our judge to shed some light on the team's designs.
I'm really impressed with the models. I mean, particularly the aquarium cruise one. I knew what the idea was, and I'd seen the drawings, but I couldn't quite picture it. This really does explain it.
A couple of little models really show how they work. This one is basically the aquarium cruise design.
Yeah.
It's designed to throw big items, so it's ideal for this job. But there are a couple of little problems with it.
So that's the scooter at the back.
This is a scooter at the back. You've now got the weight in the air,
Yeah.
and it's all about the timing of the release of the scooter.
Oh, yeah, that was good.
Well, yeah, it went a distance, but the wrong way. They can always take the first shot, and then if all goes badly, just turn it round.
Yes.
The next one, though, is the Ballunatics.
Right.
What they're relying on is not a counterweight. They're actually relying on a torsion, or tension, rather, from these. What these will be is basically leaf springs. But the problem that I can see happening is possibly as you bend this back, the arms aren't going to take that amount of force, and they're just going to fold in.
Yeah.
Then it's also, again, how the string catches the bike. But as you see, it's flipping.
Yeah, that
the bike
flipped
at
up
the
then,
end.
didn't it? Yes.
And that's basically interfering with it getting a nice free run.
Yes.
If this does work, though, it's going to be a fantastic piece of engineering, it has to be said.
Right.
So our judge is clearly impressed with the Ballunatics design. But it'll be a long time before their machine resembles his model. Fortunately, they've got their noses to the grindstone.
Okay, job's good.
Okay. 4.8, 4.9. Right.
Next door, the sheer enormity of the aquarium cruise build is causing some serious head scratching.
That's 5 metres there. But that far out on the old
4870. It's not too dreadful, is it?
13 centimetres.
This A-frame will be just one side of their underarm trebuchet, but Scavenger Nutty has concerns.
But the angle needs to be set, because these are twisted all over the place.
I reckon these will twist enough to take that out, you know.
They'll just have to hope their calculations measure up when it comes to fixing the machine together.
Teams, just to keep you in the loop, you have 4 hours remaining. 4 hours build time remaining today. Thank you.
We're definitely coming back tomorrow.
Oh, trying to give us arse.
With those huge leaf springs to work around, constructing the framework for the Ballunatics' giant crossbow is a relatively simple matter. And it's not long before it starts to take shape.
If I grab the bottom end down there, can you three just sort of shuffle this forward just so we can get that back bar in?
Yeah, okay, so we're coming this way, a foot.
We're coming in.
Yeah. You good? That's it. Just so you know, guys, I think you're doing real well. We're getting some good stuff together here, and it's coming on quickly now.
You know what we're doing, don't you?
By contrast, in the aquarium cruise build area, progress is slow.
Do you want to knock the arm together then? Because the arm's really important.
No. The arm is half an hour, tops.
Do you reckon?
Once we work out the measurements, honestly.
We can work out the measurements, though, can't we? 'Cause we've
That's
got-
what I'm saying
we've
now.
got it.
It's 4.5 drop, and I think we need to possibly allow 400 mil.
Okay.
A traditional trebuchet has a long throwing arm and a shorter weight arm, the ideal ratio being 4:1. Expert Don is proposing a 3:1 ratio, meaning less power, but critically less weight stressing their machine. That is, of course, if Expert Don can get his sums right.
We're doing a 4.3 arm, 4.4 arm. I'm trying to think of something that's divisible easily by 3.
9.
Thank you. What?
4.5.
Yeah, which
or
is a bit too long.
4.8.
So if we make this 1.4,
4.2.
1.4 would be 3
4.2.
metres, 4.2, wouldn't it? 1.4.
What's 1.4?
Right, that's cleared that up then.
But the Balloonatics aren't suffering any confusion and have now caught up with their opponents.
Ah, room to breathe. OK, let's just pop one on and see what it looks like. Oh, this is where we definitely want Seymour, isn't it? So what we're going to do anyway is we'll put some stops a little bit way up that. Yeah. The other thing it means is that we can put some great big reinforcement down here.
Their huge catapult is a complicated build. Fortunately, expert Todd has all the answers.
The cable height's going to be about 6 inches here, which feels all right to me.
How long's the cable going to be between the two?
6 odd metres.
6 odd metres. So where's this going to be in its normal position?
At rest position, pretty much that.
And then it gets gradually tensed up by the hydraulic rams?
Yes.
Outside the aquarium crew's build area, Wally is putting the finishing touches to their second A-frame.
Right, I reckon that's going to be lovely, that.
Inside the build area, Captain Charlotte and Nutty are still working on the counterweight.
Where do you want the brace cross? Inside?
Above, I would think.
Above?
Is this where we're going to fix something to?
Yeah,
is
the
this
arm. The arm
right.
comes off the top
So now
brace.
it's looking like this.
Yeah.
We've got an arm going out one way or the other.
Yeah.
Out to like here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To go just onto that or past that?
No, it goes onto that.
So we're making that?
Yeah, and we're going to use this box section here to be the arm, and I think we're going to use these two bits to be the A.
Are we really
it goes wrong tomorrow.
strong enough?
Yeah, no, blame me.
So, with our teams struggling to complete their medieval masterpieces, let's take a look at the real deal.
Trebuchets have had a checkered history on the scrap heap, so I've come to Warwick Castle to see one that actually works. Our judge, Nick Glue, is going to show me around, and I thought I'd dress up for the occasion.
How's that then, Nick? Is that suitable?
Perfect.
Weighing in at a whopping 22 tons, it takes these huge hamster wheels to winch her long arm down.
Now, at an initial glance, Nick, this is very different looking machine to the thing the aquarium crew are making.
It is, but basically the principles are exactly the same. They look very different, but essentially theirs is a throwing arm with a counterweight. All they've done is reverse the whole idea, so they've built theirs generally upside down,
right,
for want of a better description. The other thing is they've gone for steel, obviously, being on a scrapyard, there's not many oak trees around on the heap. And that can go against them. With a machine built of wood, the flexibility of the wood allows the stresses to pass more safely through the machine. Whereas if you use a more rigid material,
so it's just solid,
like solid steel, then it could either snap or terminally bend. But you need really a ratio of about 100 to 150 to 1.
Right.
From your weight of your counterweight to the object you're going to throw.
The aquarium crew's machine is not going to have that kind of weight, is it?
I mean, the scooters range between 70 to 100 kilograms in weight, and Don's using for his counterweight just over 2 tons.
Right.
So, will it actually perform? I think we're just about coming to a hold now. If we want to slow, then we can stop this thing and get the fruits of our labours and go and chuck something.
Let's try that.
There she goes! Absolutely fantastic! The biggest trebuchet in the world!
Back on the heap, and the Balloonatics are steaming ahead.
Right, we've got some ram mounts. Should we offer one of these rams in so we can have a look-see at it?
Okay, it's going to take a bit of muscle.
Ready, 1, 2, 3.
It's not long before the first ram is in place, and it's quickly followed by the second, allowing Captain Seymour and Expert Todd time to take stock.
So what we've got to do, we've got to get the 2 springs in, get the arms in, and get the cable from the arm onto the spring.
Okay. Are we going to get to test fire tonight? Because we want to intimidate next door. Psychological warfare here,
for sure.
With a battle plan set, Kenty and Fingers are fixing the mounts for their huge arms, while Captain Seymour and Expert Todd set about attaching the massive leaf springs.
It looks pretty good.
Happy?
Yeah.
Oh, it's not looking bad, Charlotte. That's pretty good. As long as it's flat that way. Right, weld it up.
Unaware of this impending psychological attack, the aquarium crew are finally attaching the arm to their counterweight.
Hang on, 2 inches, 3 inches, just up. Now we're going back there.
But with one step forward, it's 2 back, as they begin deciding where to brace it by committee.
I wonder if we can get it there and there.
That distance there. What
do you reckon, Charlotte?
I reckon...
Middle of the drum?
Yeah, at least.
The size of the radius.
Yeah.
These constant discussions are costing them valuable time late in the game.
OK, teams, this is your 1 hour call. You have 1 hour, 60 minutes of build time remaining.
That's no good.
Woohoo! So what are we going to do for the rest of the 55 minutes?
No idea. Cup of tea, anybody?
But refreshments are a distant fantasy for the aquarium crew. With only minutes left, they've still got a lot to do before attaching that trebuchet arm. By contrast, the Balloonatics are on the home straight, having only finer fettling left to complete.
Now, the aquarium crew have got to work like mad for this last little bit, haven't they? Because that build is so huge.
It is. It's a big build. And at first they seem to be taking the lead, but now they seem to have dropped behind a bit, so you have to put a right bit of work in for the last to get that thing up right.
Yes. So we just have to trust that all the bits that they've made fit together.
Yeah, you should do.
But also, it sounds like the Balloonatics might do a test firing tonight as well.
Yeah, they've been threatening one if they can get the machine together. And, you know, depending on how that comes about and, you know, whether the machine stays together and it all works well, then that, you know, could heavily swing in their favour.
Yes.
Could change everything.
For a start, let's not stand in the way when they do it.
To see a team achieve a test fire on build day is a rare treat. I can't wait to see the machine for myself.
That is amazing. Well, that does look... That looks the business. That is incredible. What a monster. Yeah.
Ye of little faith, eh, Rob?
Well, you know, I admit I wavered a little. Is there a chance of a test fire?
We're ready.
Are you? You're kidding?
Yeah,
Ready?
We are actually ready.
Well, I mean, I really want to see this go, so I'm not going to get in the way, guys. I know you've got a few more bits to do. I'll let you get on with it, but I shall be watching.
With the Balloonatics planning their preemptive strike, the aquarium crew are only now in a position to offer up that huge trebuchet arm to those massive A-frames.
Perfect! Right, where's
the nuts are down by the lab, down by you.
In the dirt. Right, let me get me looking all rusty.
Well, no, that helped the threads to lock. The dirt in the thread helps it to stay on.
We like a bit of that. We don't mind a bit of dirt.
But at the 11th hour, a last-minute measure reveals a major problem.
50 mil out. It's a mile off. I don't know what we're going to... Is it? Yeah.
With one leg significantly shorter than the other, their arm could swing unevenly, rocking the machine to bits.
Can we pack 50 mil? Oh.
It's a disaster for the aquarium crew. And if that wasn't bad enough...
5, 4, 3, 2, 1...
Well, it came out, it went along.
That is good.
That's pretty impressive. They look very pleased with that.
That's a very good sign.
But there's no celebration in the aquarium crew's build bay, where their scrap heap future is literally hanging in the balance.
How can you be thinking of tea?
It's really very nerve-wracking. Very, very nerve-wracking. It's like lifting the Mary Rose, only this is more precious to me.
With only seconds to spare, they're going to have to hope their earlier measuring mishap can be rectified in tinkering time tomorrow.
When they haven't broken it, I'll cheer.
OK, teams, your time is up!
Oh, yes, teams. But if you thought that was tough, tomorrow is the true test, when we see just how far your siege machines can sling a scooter. Well done, teams!
In just 10 hours, our two teams have built machines which would make our medieval ancestors marvel. But will it be the Balloonatics and their highly strung crossbows shooting the breeze? Or can the aquarium crew's unconventional trebuchet call the shots?
Welcome back to Scrapheap Challenge, where both teams are preparing to shoot scooters into a quarry using massive medieval siege engines.
And the rules couldn't be simpler. Each team has 3 attempts to launch 3 identical life-size scooters as far as their machines will throw them. The longest single throw wins.
But before they begin, our 2 teams have just 1 hour to fine-tune their flingers. After an excellent build, the Balloonatics have only the finer details to think about, whilst the aquarium crew are now having to knuckle down to try and fix their wonky leg.
Well, Nick, now we're here. For a start, the trebuchet looked absolutely huge in the yard. It's sort of slightly dwarfed by the size of the quarry, isn't it? It
doesn't look quite as big, but it's still an impressive piece of kit.
It is.
Although I will say, now seeing it in daylight, been looking at that arm, and it does hold some concern as to whether that arm's going to take the amount of pressure it's going to be under.
I mean, I'm assuming that they're tying the scooter to the very long bit at the end.
To the tip on the end of the arm, yeah.
Which is going to take an enormous amount of shock
massive
and
amount
weight,
of force,
isn't it?
yeah. But I think that's a problem for both teams.
Yes.
Both of their arms, all their arms are going to be in a lot of strain, so it's down to how well they've done those welds.
Yes. Of course, the one thing we did see last night was a test firing by the Balloonatics, which I thought was pretty impressive at super low pressure.
It looked good, but what they've got to remember is last night they just shot a section of iron bar, and today they're shooting a scooter, and the weight and the size and the aerodynamics are going to be completely different.
Yes. So now you've been firmly behind the aquarium crew for the whole build. I mean, have you changed your mind now you've seen it here?
I still got to go with the aquarium crew because theirs is the better design, but that arm still causes a lot of concern.
Right.
It's quite a weak arm, so it's only got to do 3 shots though, so if it holds up.
Yes.
So the judge is worried about their arm, and they've spent all morning patching up that leg. Is the aquarium crew's trebuchet up to the job?
Right.
How far do you think it's going to go?
End of the ramp.
I reckon.
End of the ramp.
40, 50 yards.
I reckon we're going to get 30 yards out of this.
It just depends in what direction.
Aquarium crew, get ready to shoot your scooter on the sound of the horn in 3, 2, 1.
We go. Oh, hang on.
Oh no, that's a classic problem. The trigger's stuck.
No.
Oh.
Here we go. It's flang.
That is perfect.
That threw a scooter.
That was
very effectively.
Are you happy?
I'm really happy.
Good.
I think it was the right way to go. I think start light. They've got 3 turns, haven't they? I mean,
Yeah,
If they had destroyed it with the first one, that would be so.
Well, at least now they've got a score on the table.
After initial trigger trouble, the aquarium crew's scooter flew straight into the quarry, showing their patched-up leg is doing the job. But will it be enough to beat the Balloonatics' pumped-up crossbow?
What's it looking like, Seymour?
Just coming up straight now.
About straight.
Yeah.
The Balloonatics are almost ready. Can feel the tension in the air and in the cable.
Balloonatics, I know there's a lot of strain in that machine. Let's fly some scooters on the sound of the horn in 3, 2, 1.
Come on, Balloonatics! No.
That, I think, is classifiable as a classic Scrapheap moment.
It's not worked, has it?
It hasn't worked.
What happened?
Not enough jackage.
Not enough jackage. Simply just didn't have enough oomph to get it over the edge.
Yeah.
It's a disappointment for the Balloonatics. Not giving their machine enough power allowed the scooter to slide off its rails, crashing into the arms of their crossbow. Next to shoot from our chalky ocky are those fish tank constructors from Weymouth.
OK, aquarium crew, this is the big test, the big weight. The second shot, go on the sound of the horn in 3, 2, 1.
Go, go, go.
With more weight on board, expectations are high.
Ooh, look at that. Oh! It does land very heavily, doesn't it? Very graceful. Not a huge increase in distance.
No.
Lisa to Robert, the scooter hasn't gone as far as I thought it would.
No, from where we were, it looked like it went higher.
The team are thinking perhaps if they make the rope on the front shorter, then more energy will transfer into the scooter and not actually flick it up, but flick it out.
It's another safe shot in the bag for the aquarium crew, but they'll have to give it all they've got for their final throw. That's because the Balloonatics are back, and this time they mean business.
I think it's in danger of destroying the whole machine if they crank it anymore.
Balloonatics, seems like a pretty good time to pull that trigger. Go on the sound of the horn in 3, 2, 1.
Hey!
Well, it did it. It definitely did it.
Where is it? Oh. What are you going to do to get a bit further then, Todd? Crank it more?
We'll give it some, and then when we're scared, we'll let go.
Brilliant. I'm going to stand quite a long way away.
Finally, the Balloonatics' giant crossbow proves her worth, but they're going to have to pump those springs to the max for their last shot. Also asking the ultimate question of their machine are those fish tank builders from Weymouth, who've stuffed their machine with every bit of metal they could find.
Aquarium crew, the weight is waiting at the top of that arm. This is your third and final fling. Let that scooter go on the sound of the horn in 3, 2, 1.
Go on, John. That was same time. Well done. That was good.
We did it. I mean, it's not quite double the distance, but it's...
No, but they stuck another, 7 or 8 metres on.
Yeah, that's really good.
How much fun was that? It looked fantastic.
It was great fun.
Yeah, I've got to say, there's some Balloonatics over there looking a little bit worried.
After all that cunning,
Their faces have gone the same colour as their overalls.
The gamble has paid off for the aquarium crew. The best shot of the day so far. It went miles.
It's not moving.
But it's not over yet. Just one good shot could mean victory for the Balloonatics. And with all mechanical sympathy gone, they're pumping up those rams as high as they dare.
If the thing explodes, it's going to be messy. I'm certainly going to run.
Hydraulic leak, get ready to bang.
Okay.
Quickly.
Get ready.
Fire Balloonatics!
Fire!
It was good fun.
It was nice.
A brave attempt.
It just wasn't to be for the Balloonatics. As the scooter crashed into the arms of the crossbow, their fate was sealed.
Well, teams, 2 fantastic builds, 2 amazing machines, and 2 really, really brilliant teams.
But there has to be a winner on Scrapheap Challenge. And this week, as we all know, the winners are the fabulous Aquarium Crew!
Hey!
Hey! No! And if shooting scooters got you hot under the collar, then join us next week for some more conventional two-wheel fun. See you then.
There'll be high-speed thrills and high-speed spills as a team of model makers take on a trio of breakdown technicians in a battle to build super bikes.
Well done, mate.